What is up, YouTube? My name is Mr. Kyle Cohen. Welcome to my classroom. Welcome to today's video. I'm really excited to be bringing you a full classroom tour for the 2021-2022 school year. In case you have missed it, I have been documenting my entire teaching experiences for the past year here on this YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, August 19th. Our students start 1 week from today. The classroom is like 95% complete. I feel like we never actually reach 100% completion. Things are constantly changing and evolving, especially in the pandemic teaching times that we are all experiencing. We're in a very fluid situation here. There's a lot of information I still do not know 1 week out from the start of the school year. I'll be explaining more of that as we move through the tour today. I'm going to do my absolute best to leave links down in the description box of where I got various things, products, affiliate links, teachers pay teachers things, all of that down in the description box. Please leave a comment if you have any questions about anything in the classroom. I'm really excited to share what we have built here for students this year. I'll be teaching 4th grade, having all students here in person as of today. I'm going to stop talking now because I want to get into the video, so let's get into it. My back is currently to the door of the classroom, giving a quick overview. One of the first things I will say is that the desks are something that I do not have clarity on. Again, we are 1 week away from the start of the school year. Our Board of Education actually meets tonight to talk about what expectations are in terms of distancing, mask wearing, and all of that. So I set the classroom up for an ideal teaching situation as if there was no pandemic and everything was perfectly fine. We all know that that is not our reality, so I'm anticipating that the desks are going to move. I love setting the desks up this way. This is actually how I had my desks set up in my second year of teaching, but we're gonna probably have to change it. It certainly looks fun, doesn't it? I'm going to start us off on the right side wall of the classroom. I will be teaching math, science, and social studies this year, and in the 4th grade, we are really focusing on math and ensuring that students are mastering grade level content, especially given the pandemic and all of the gaps students are currently experiencing. So I have a CUBES poster up, which is an acronym to help us master problems. Math Talk board was a Teachers Pay Teachers purchase. The Multiplication Challenge board I created. The Multiplication Challenge is an opportunity for students to master their multiplication facts. When they master, let's say, their multiples of 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and so on, they get to come up here, write their initials on the board. It's really exciting. There are prizes involved, and it is just a really engaging way to support mastery. Multiplication Mastery 1 through 12 is actually a 3rd grade standard, but we often see students who have gaps in their fluency, so we really are pushing it this year in the 4th grade especially. Right above the Multiplication Challenge in the Math Talk, I have this place value board from the millions through the thousandths place. This was a Teachers Pay Teachers purchase as well. Right below that board, I have 2 whiteboard tables, which I love. Please excuse the slight mess there. Again, I said we're at 95% classroom completion. This table is great for students to collaborate, to work in partners. I have an extra Chromebook charger right here that I stole. Please don't tell anyone. But students often come with their Chromebooks not charged. We're super lucky to have one-to-one devices here in my district, and 4th graders sometimes don't remember to charge them. But if you are my 4th grader watching this video, charge your Chromebook. Next up, we have our Wow Work wall. This is where we display really exceptional work. I have a student who is responsible for cycling out the Wow Work just to make sure that all students have an opportunity to have something displayed. It is always fun to see your hard work up in the classroom. We have another whiteboard table with some supplies for the beginning of the school year. These are a lot of our consumable supplies, so workbooks, notebooks, those sorts of things, which I need to distribute to the rest of my 4th grade team. Over here, we have some district posters that support our district-wide behavior management, positive behavior support system. It is really special. It's called PACS. PACS is an opportunity for students to understand what it means to lead in the classroom, in the school, in the world, and our entire staff is trained in PACS, and this is what we use at our school. The back right corner of the classroom is where our sink is and is also kind of just like a student supply center. We have a few things that are out for students to grab whenever they need them. We have clipboards, whiteboards, whiteboard erasers and markers. We have the colors of the world colored pencils, crayons, markers, Sharpies, and just some extra erasers for students in case they need them. We have the sink, some cleaning supplies. I keep notebook paper and just plain white copy paper for students to use whenever they need. Then I have our pencils, one for sharp, one for dull, and the ever so important sign on the pencil sharpener. I have 1, 2, maybe 3 students trained in how to properly use the pencil sharpener. This is an expensive pencil sharpener that I have no plans on repurchasing, so I don't allow students just to free-for-all use the pencil sharpener. At the end of every school day, I have one student take any of the pencils from the dull or broken. They decide if they are going to be thrown out or if they're going to be sharpened and then placed into the sharp bin. The expectation for students is that if they break their pencil or need a new one, they don't even need to ask. They get up, they grab a pencil, they return to their seat. It's quick, it's silent, it's non-disruptive, and it is very effective. Then at the back of the room, we have some amazing cabinets that all are storing our science curriculum. These are 2 bins that also have our science curriculum that don't fit into these cabinets. This cabinet down here is storing extra paper and extra supplies, so extra pencils will be going here, as well as all of the supplies students bring to school on the first day. I will specifically cover with students the things that need to go in their supply pouches, things that go in their lockers, things that go in their book bags, and then extra supplies that I will be holding on. And then this cabinet over to the right of the sink is where I keep all of my indoor recess games and activities, and I'm very excited about this marble run that I just got from someone on my Amazon wish list. If you are interested in donating to my classroom, I always keep my Amazon wish list down in the description box. I really appreciate those of you who are supporting the work I'm doing in the classroom and supporting my students, so thank you always. I'm currently standing in the back right corner facing the front of the classroom, continuing to move around the room. On the back wall, we have our Be the Change posters and wall. This was inspired by Dustin over on Instagram. If you are not following him, I highly recommend it. He is a tremendous resource when it comes to all things education. And then I have this bar stool situation that is actually built into the wall. One of our intervention specialists built this and it's not moving, so we are excited to have it. The back wall here actually opens up to the classroom next door, and it is covered in whiteboards and this like felt material. There was a part of me that wanted to cover it because I thought it wasn't the most appealing thing, but with these doors opening and closing and the amount of teamwork that we're hoping to be instilling this school year, I figured it was just going to fall or rip or tear. So I decided to leave it, and it is what it is. We have our Toodles board back here. This is part of our PACS system that I was explaining before. Toodles are little notes that students write to one another. So I keep the slips here. They write who the Toodle is for, and then they write something positive, uplifting, and awesome that this student has done. So they write dear whoever, why they're getting this Toodle, who wrote it, and the date. I then take Toodles, I tape them up on the board. I just rotate these out throughout the year as Toodles are being written. Typically we'll take, 5-10 minutes each week to write Toodles to classmates in our class, classmates in other classes, teachers in the building. It is just a really phenomenal way to create a positive classroom community and a really positive school community. These blank whiteboards I perfectly positioned right in front of the small group table. This small group table is also a whiteboard, which is perfect for pulling small groups, especially in math when we're working out problems on the table. I have these fun, colorful stools that one of you sent me. Again, I just so appreciate those of you who contribute to the classroom. You have no idea how much it means to me and my students. This then takes us up to our multiples posters. Someone asked me why I display the multiples posters if I'm doing the multiplication challenge. Like, can't students just look back and cheat? Yes, hypothetically they can. However, these are in the back of the classroom and students are facing the front of the classroom. So if we're ever assessing multiplication or we're ever assessing fluency, it will be very clear and obvious if they're facing the back of the room looking at these posters. they'd also have to be like squinting, and they probably wouldn't finish in time if they're so focused on these. So again, I'm here having these displayed in the back of the room for when I'm pulling small groups. These are up as a resource, as well as the multiplication table and the fractions posters. These posters came from Lakeshore Learning, the multiples posters came from Teachers Pay Teachers, and these are Fletcher's Chromebook keys posters. These are shortcuts for Chromebooks. Fletcher made them. If you are not following him here on YouTube or Instagram, I highly recommend. Right below those posters, we have our See, Hear, Do, and Feel board. This board is displayed all year, and it is essentially our classroom norms and expectations, what we are hoping to see, hear, do, and feel each and every day in the classroom. We set these on the first day of school. We talk about the things we do want to see, hear, do, and feel, and the things that we don't want to see, hear, do, and feel. And this is an opportunity for us to hold one another accountable to make sure that we are meeting these expectations every minute of every day. Right below, we kind of begin the classroom library. This first shelf here are some district reading resources that we use for some really intense interventions with students. And then this leads us into the classroom library, where I have my books organized by genre, in order, by title. And I have now been teaching for 4 years. I have yet to find the perfect system that works for the classroom library. I do not think the perfect system exists, and I'm not going to lie, I don't really care. I want my students reading books, and even though I'm teaching math, science, and social studies, it is really important to encourage reading, to have books available for students to read, to make sure that they are inclusive, that they are diverse, and that they are meeting the needs of all students. It's sorted in this way to hopefully just make it easy for them to find something they like and to get reading. I want to remove as many barriers as possible when it comes to ensuring that students have books in their hands. I completed a book bingo, which I talked about on Instagram and on TikTok and made a YouTube video about. So if you're interested in learning more about a really inexpensive, easy way to fund books for your classroom library, I highly recommend checking out that video and giving it a try for yourself. I have a couple of students who are trained to be our librarians. They are directly responsible for maintaining the library throughout the school year. It gets messy, it gets chaotic, it will never look this nice again as the school year begins. But again, I don't care. If I lose a book, whatever. If I can't find a book, it's not the end of the world. I want students reading. I want them engaging. These labels came from Molly. She is phenomenal over on YouTube and Instagram. I will link the labels down in the description box. Above the library, I have a globe and a few books that we read really early on in the school year, as well as this little cart that actually spins around with a few chapter books that I haven't labeled yet. So that's where they're going to go because I haven't labeled them. I am assuming you all know Kim from Elementary in the Mitten. She is the designer behind the phenomenal Influential Peoples posters. She made these. We love them. They're actually like one of the first thing people comment on whenever they enter my classroom, whenever my principal is in here, whenever other adults are in the room, or students. They always are just amazed by these posters. They are so beautiful and so inclusive, and something that I'm really proud to have hanging in my classroom. We can then move over to what I hope will be our little comfy corner of the classroom, or comfy wall of the classroom. We weren't able to use beanbags last year, hoping for the best that we can this year, still waiting to find out. I allow students to use beanbags whenever we are working in group work or independent work. Just makes things more comfy and makes things more inviting and fun for students. As we continue to move around the classroom, we are now getting into what is pretty much my teacher space. You will see that my string lights are being hung. I will link the string lights that I have down in the description box. For me, lighting is really important in the classroom, especially when it comes to the afternoon. We like to turn the lights off, just have the natural light, the string lights, and then I think you can see the LED lights that are working their way around the front of the classroom. When the lights are off, you can clearly see the LED strip and the string lights and the natural light. It's pretty bright in here actually for all the lights being off. This is really nice in the afternoon when the fluorescent lights are burning all of our eyes. Moving on from talking about lighting, I have this cabinet here that I actually spray painted. Don't tell my principal, but I spray painted this cabinet black, hung these incredible posters from the superhero teacher. These were free posters on her blog. I will link them down below. In this cabinet, I store a lot of random things. The top few shelves are math resources and math manipulatives. We then move into like paper plates and napkins and forks and garbage bags and just some cleaning supplies down at the bottom. My desk I covered in contact paper in case you missed my viral TikTok. I have no idea why that TikTok went viral, but people obviously really liked the fact that I put contact paper on my desk. I also made these letters on Canva that spell out Mr. Cohen. I put some border around it that matches the rest of the classroom. We have my turn-in bin with a label on it that says turn-in bin. All of the labels in my classroom are inspired by Pocketful of Primary. I purchased one of her label packs a million years ago that came with this template. I really love the black and white clean look with Oswald font, if you are curious. And I keep a very minimal desk space. So right now, my desk is actually empty. This desk never actually remains empty throughout the school day. It becomes filled of papers and resources and all sorts of things. One thing I will share is that I have these very cheap file things that I think were honestly handed down. I have nothing fancy here, nothing cute. This is just where I keep my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday materials. I have one for grading, one for filing, and kind of just an extra catch-all for things when I don't know where to put them. The tablecloth came from Amazon. It is a perfect way to cover this table because this is just a normal table. I keep some drawers here and all sorts of things behind as just a way to store things when I don't know where to put them. I have one of these very fancy, fun little drink holders because no one likes when condensation gets all over their desk, so this is where the iced coffee goes. Except today I'm having hot coffee because sometimes in the summer I just am craving a hot coffee. Is that weird? Maybe it is weird. It's no different than in the winter when I'm craving iced coffee. But anyway, these are great for iced coffee or any drinks that could condensate because it will then leak onto the floor or into the cup instead of your desk. And then out on the desk, I just have some tissues, hand sanitizer, pens, Post-it notes, my phone, and my lamp from my childhood bedroom. Above this cabinet, I keep all sorts of just little knickknacks that I have gotten from over the years. And then this board over here is pretty empty right now. This is where I will display our calendar. I will display any work that students create and want to hang up over here. This might be where like phone numbers of families go. Oh, I don't know. It just kind of depends on the year and what I want to have available and accessible readily right here next to my desk by the phone at the front of the classroom. This leads us to the front of the classroom where I have the front board. I'm really happy with how this turned out this year. I have my cart at the front of the room. This cart I will link down below. Really excited about it. I have my laptop, speakers, and document camera right here on the cart. Behind the cart, I have our stickers, also inspired by Molly. I will link the stickers, the pocket chart, down in the description box. I'm really excited to be using these stickers as incentives for students throughout the school year. This will be as simple as, oh wow, you just won the Kahoot that we played. Go grab a sticker. Or, oh wow, you're meeting our expectations right now when nobody else is. Go grab a sticker. They are for water bottles or for their Chromebooks or for folders, and I think students are really going to love them. I have our all are welcome sign posted right above the smartboard in front of the room, and our self-assessment 1, 2, 3, 4 posters that we use each and every day to assess where we are in our mastery. Moving to the left of the smartboard, we have our schedule cards, which were from Pocketful of Primary also. Similarly, the math homework and the ELA homework, also Pocketful of Primary labels that I purchased long ago that I will link down below. And then I have our calendar, which I just hand write the month, and then this is a dry erase calendar. So I will write the date and other important events that may be coming up right below our schedule. Running across the top of the whiteboard is some growth mindset posters that I created. They are something that I created last school year on Google Slides. Really nothing fancy. They are just a square, and the colors match the different borders throughout the classroom. The final bulletin board is the What We Are Learning board. This is where I will display our math I can statement and our science or social studies I can statement. And this is a space that I leave open for anchor charts and other resources that we are currently working on in class. One of my favorite things in my classroom is this plugin. I know that some schools don't allow these things, but no one has said anything to me, and it is probably the only thing I have found that actually keeps the classroom smelling decent. And we have now made it back to the door where we started this tour. I rhymed. I have this little desk right here by the door. It's where I typically keep our lunch menu, emergency folders, tissues, things that need to go to the office, and this little plant that I got super cheap from Target. That concludes the classroom tour for the 2021-2022 school year. I hope you had fun seeing all of the ins and outs of our classroom here in the 4th grade. As I mentioned throughout the video, things are going to change, they're going to shift, we're going to need to adapt. We're still dealing with the impacts of the pandemic on education here in the United States, here in Cleveland, Ohio. So I know that the way things are currently set up are not going to continue to be the way things are going to look, and that's okay. We are here to meet the health and safety and academic needs of our students. We want to be creating inclusive, positive communities where all students can thrive. I haven't even met my students yet, so I need to be building the mindset that it is okay that things are going to need to change. Your students are lucky to have you. Show up for them, cultivate a classroom community where they can be fully authentic, and build the classroom around their needs. That's our role as an educator. If you have not already done so, make sure you hit that red subscription button down below so that you do not miss out on any future videos. I so appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for all of the support, and I will catch you in the next one.